All right, we're kind of getting back to the roots here and playing some mostly blue-white control. Back in the day when I first started playing Magic, I kind of identified as a blue-white control kind of guy. Since then, I feel like I've branched out quite a bit, as you might be able to tell from all the different stuff that I play on the channel. But my first true love back in the original days of playing this game was blue-white control. This was back in the day when Teferi was all the rage. You would win a lot of games just by continually looping a Teferi and tucking himself with his -3 ability over and over until your opponent drew out, which was a thing that was somewhat popular in like Friday Night Magic and stuff like that. But I was obviously playing on Arena back then. This was before the days of Little Teferi, Teferi Time Raveler. But we still had a lot of fun. You would basically just try to chain together a bunch of draw spells, a bunch of board wipes in the 3 to 4 slot, or I guess it would have been 4 to 5 slot back then with Cleansing, Nova, Supreme Verdict, Wrath of God, and such like that. And then you would basically curve out with your Teferis at the 5 land drop, and then you would have, counter magic. Usually that costed 2 to 3 in order to make use of Teferis +1. That would give you some mana back. So we're kind of doing the same thing today, honestly. You'll see that a lot of the shell is still here. We have some early removal now that Swords to Plowshares is usable in the Timeless format. We have Omen of the Sea as our card draw of choice. This is one that I played way back when, before, I think whenever this came out in Theros. We had been playing these kind of decks for a long time, and I think that the original card in this slot was Search for Azcanta, another very good card that I considered adding to this deck. But I think ever since Theros, I've always been really on Omen of the Sea, not only for the fact that you can use a Yorion build in order to flicker it, but it's just generally good on its own. You can do some of the, I believe it was PVDDR, who really pioneered the use of flashing in an Omen of the Sea, holding priority, and then using its sacrifice in order to get essentially scry 4 then draw a card all at once. So that's one. That's our card draw. We also have Archmage's Charm as a one of, and then the counterspell package looks like Archmage's Charm, Absorb, Dovin's Veto, and Mana Drain. And we'll get an honorable mention in here for the one lone red card in the deck, High Noon, a new card from Outlaws. For 2 mana we get an enchantment that is essentially a Rule of Law effect, but it also has the ability for 5 mana to be sacked and deals 5 damage to any target. We get to cast that off of our 2 Rogran Triumphs, so either we need to not get our stuff wastelanded, or we just need to make sure that our opponent has a Blood Moon, one of the two, that will turn all of our non-basics into red mana for High Noon. Okay, so with that being said, we have some other things in the deck. Obviously, Snapcaster Mage is going to be here to recast our Swords to Plowshares and our Counterspell package. We have Oracle of the Alpha here as one of our potential win cons. We can get the Power 9 into our library, take extra turns with Time Walk. That is a potential way to end the game. We have High Noon being just our 20 damage in the main deck right here. Sometimes we'll need to High Noon plus get a couple of attacks with Oracle in, but that should be pretty easy enough once we maintain board control. 2 Leyline of Sanctities in the deck, just in case we need to make sure that we have some sort of hexproof against the combo deck. Not that we're seeing a lot of Tendrils decks right now, which is why we're only at 2 of these, but Leyline of Sanctity is pretty nice. It also does help us with just a general field of like discard and stuff like that. Supreme Verdict is going to be our 4-drop board wipe of choice. Can't be countered, destroys all creatures, gotta love it. We're already in blue-white, so there's no reason not to run this thing. And then we're also running a 1 of Sunfall, which is pretty nice for clogged board states because it also gives us a creature or threat of our own that we can start to leverage to either slow down the game because it's going to be good at blocking, or speed up the game as we might be in a position where we can attack them down. Now, some more spicy things that we have is 2 dig through times that are just kind of in here in order to be kind of a thing that we can use to refill at some point. Eventually does become a 2 mana Ancestral, which is nice. And then finally we have Chamil the Inner Sun, a very, very cool card that I love to play in this deck. Love to get onto the battlefield because once we get into a situation where this is on the battlefield, well, we get a free spell every turn, which is great when we want to hold up counter magic. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to be careful of here. This deck is not just blue-white control. We're actually trying to play sort of a prison strategy. Prison more or less just being our high noon effect here. We're not really doing too much more than that. But each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. This one's a little bit important, and we can sometimes end up tripping over our own feet if we have Oracle of the Alpha with Moxen and want to get like a Teferi or Teferi down. We have to really be cognizant of what we cast that turn, what we plan to cast that turn, and how we actually sequence our high noon effects. We only need to have one high noon on the battlefield at once in order to lock down us and the opponent. But we sometimes want to, so sometimes we're going to have more than one of them, and we'll need to make sure in those situations that we have the ability to just make sure that that we're actually activating some of these in the mid game, so that we can ensure that we have 1 to 2 of them on the battlefield to ensure that our spells aren't getting disrupted. We need to make sure that we can get our threats down. We ideally want to get a Teferi down, because this makes it so with High Noon, our opponent casts a spell, we have not cast a spell in their turn, we can, absorb or whatever, and then because they've cast a spell, they A, cannot respond via Teferi, and B, cannot respond via High Noon, so we'll have them extremely locked down through either one of those effects. And then the other thing is basically just we want to make sure that the damage is coming through High Noon. We want to make sure that we don't end up in a situation where we have 3 High Noons, need 15 mana to activate all of them, and then just need to wait multiple turns while we're slowly trying to kill the opponent. There comes a time in this deck, or in these kinds of decks really, where we need to turn the corner, and that typically happens when we wipe the board with Supreme Verdict. Because Timeless is such a powerful format, that now really doesn't necessarily mean that the game is won. But what it does mean for us is that with a Supreme Verdict, we have one turning point, and then we've kind of set another turning point where our High Noons can be converted from lock pieces into damage. And that'll typically happen when we have one or more Oracle of the Alphas or Snapcaster Mages on the battlefield, maybe a Time Walk that's ready to go, or or a couple of High Noons on the battlefield. We'll crack off the High Noons and then just get in with the creatures, try to play an extra turn spell to cash us out, and ideally win the game from there. So this is High Noon control. We're going to try to get some Teferi emblems. We're going to try to get some attacks in. We want to get some High Noon beats for 5 chunks of damage. Should be really good games today. Should be some long and more thought out games. We will see. Oh yeah, the other thing that I did want to mention is that we do have Mystic Sanctuaries in the deck just to bring back these counter spells typically. Sometimes the Swords to Plowshares and maybe a Dig Through Time here and there. One of our board wipes possibly, who knows. And then obviously we're going to want to get back a lot of the Power 9 once they get into our graveyard. Getting it to Teferi into a, Time Twister is really cool. I did that in the game right before recording here. We have a lot of potential with this deck, a lot of cool games to happen, and hopefully we'll run into opponents that don't insta-scoop when we get a Teferi emblem. But, that is, people have a lot of trauma related to that card, so I can imagine it happening once or twice. With that being said, this is the end of the deck tech. Let's hop into round 1 here. Make sure to like and comment, helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We are so very close to the 500 subscriber mark as I post this video, or as I record this video rather. So helping me out there would be absolutely appreciated. Now let's hop into round 1 and see what Blue-White High Noon Control has for us. I guess it's Jeskai High Noon Control. Let's see what that has for us. Here we go. Here we go, this is round 1. Opening hand has a bunch of card draw, which is usually the barometer for a hand that I want to keep. We will do so. Omen of the Sea is great because as we hold up our counter magic, we have an ability to also further our own game plan. Didn't really mention it, but we also do get to play Mana Drain from the most wanted card selection out of Outlaws of Thunder Junction, so that's always really good. We're running Mesmeric Orb here. This is potentially going to be problematic for us. However, we do have the ability to, hit some important spells for them here. Resolving their spells are going to be very important for them. A Mesmeric Orb is not necessarily the end of the game for me. They're going to have a lot of stuff at the 2 to 3, mark here. I think I'm happy to manage Rain here. It's either that or just Omen of the Sea, look for another land here. I think I'm happier to take some of the spells that are going to mill me harder than that. Mana doesn't, or life total doesn't really matter here. And I think we just go Omen of the Sea. Let's do that now. They potentially have Commandeer in this deck. I saw them hold priority there. We got to decide if we want High Noon. Commandeer would be fine. High Noon does give me access to Absorb, but we were here looking for a land, so I'm going to not bother. We do find the land, which is nice. Is there anything that I want to put on top? Not yet. It's going to be Archive Trap, I see. That's what they were going for. So I'll have to be careful on how we search our library here. There goes Supreme Verdict. There goes Leyline of Sanctity. Leyline of Sanctity would have been great, actually. So I think our main priority here is we would really like to have a one of our two Oracle of the Alphas here, because if we can find or get milled a Time Twister, then we basically can reset the game. So I want to keep Snapcaster Mage in hand. I would like to keep Mystic Sanctuaries at the ready, and then I would like to, eventually find that Oracle. That's going to be important. We're going to pass here. Lots of mills happening. We still have 30 cards. They're only half done, but our game plan is not nearly set online yet. If we can get them to top deck mode, our counter magic will be strong. Manager, and I want to hold on until I get it to Fairy 4. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and make some blue mana here. And we will get a basic. We have blue. Oh no, we only have white. Unfortunate. I think they milled away my blue basic, unfortunately. Mills 10 cards here, so I think we want to not let them have that. Let's gain some life back. Alright, that saves us a third of the remainder of our deck. We do mill 6 every turn here, so I'm not necessarily feeling super great about this. Oh, there goes one of the oracles. That's unfortunate. Alrighty, so I can put forth a body in Snapcaster Mage, but that really just gives them a 10-turn clock. Boy, does this feel awkward. Scry 2, draw a card with Omen. Do I feel like I want to do that right now? I think that this game might be a little lost by this point. They'd have to really brick hard here. Even then, casting any spells really mills me with Mesmeric Orb. They'd replay it if I just sent it back to their hand. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. I think I pass hold Snapcaster Mage. They have 43 cards still. They're not even nearly close to having a problem. Got rid of Mesmeric Orb. That does feel nice. And we really only have mana drain up here. Looks like we're not going to be able to establish our lock this game. It is unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Mill is going to be pretty strong against us. Anything that is not creature-based, but still very aggressive. We will play the rest of this one out here. We do need to cast this mana drain here. We will get a bunch of mana, which is would be nice if we needed to play Sunfall. Unfortunately, we don't need to. And I think we'll really just be limited on our ability to find blue mana sources right now. Or just mana sources in general. So we have a bunch of this now. I can play High Noon, I can play 2 Omen of the Seas, I can play Snapcaster Mage. I think I'll put to the field everything that needs mana. And, well, this is going to be a little awkward because I sequenced this wrong. We'll be able to Omen of the Sea then, leaving 2 mana, but then I can't cast Snapcaster Mage. Alright, we have to pass. Not really thinking that it mattered anyhow. I think they're going to hit us with whatever their top deck is here, and we're probably dead. So if I basically just never cast anything again, then Mesmeric Orb is online. Just a Field of Ruin, okay. That Field of Ruin is going to be really good if they crack it off. They go for this. It's too bad I don't have a 3rd blue mana for Archmage's Charm. And then, yeah, us milling 4 cards is a little unfortunate. Here goes Snapcaster Mage. We'll put a Supreme Verdict on top. Can't do anything about it. And we lose another 6 cards here. I believe it's not possible for us to win. Unless we get lucky, draw land here, Archmage's Charm the Restless Reef next turn, and then never play a spell again, and they just draw lands. There's like such a narrow path to victory here that it's like pretty much not possible, but... dang, there's our second Oracle. Unfortunate. Yeah, so we don't even have the third land for Archmage's Charm. That's unfortunate. We're also missing the red for High Noon, so dang. Alright, we just have to sit here. 6 turns, potentially. We have 4 turns of life left, and they're just going to be too far out of range. They're down to 16 cards. Let's see if they decide to play much more. This Field of Ruin is now just a strip land for us, or a wasteland for us. Alright, we get milled for, and yeah, I think that this is unfortunately going to mark the end of it for us. 2 cards in deck. What are the odds one of them is a land? It actually wouldn't matter, because if we cast Archmage's Charm, we're dying with Mesmeric Orb. Dang. Alrighty, and they've got us dead to rights. Pretty good game. Mill deck came out strong. If you have not seen my mill deck, I've done the 2 distinct versions that this deck is a combo of. There's an Artifact Mesmeric Orb combo strategy, and then there's just, you know, general spell-based mill with Archive Trap. And honestly, you can slot Archive Trap in both. I've just chosen in my deck text to kind of do them in 2 distinct builds. But definitely very, very strong deck here. You know, you have they're not so much relying on the target player mills 6 card spell. I can't remember that. Maddening Cacophony, that's the name. So I don't see that in here. But yeah, other than that, I'm seeing quite... Oh wait, no. Maddening Cacophony. Yeah, I know. So this is a very, very standard list, I would say. But it's a good list because it beat us. So we'll hop in around 2 and hopefully get a non-mill matchup that we can turn the corner on. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Round 2. We again see Omen of the Sea, which I'm happy about, and Leyline of Sanctity, which would have very much helped us in the last game, is also here. Once we set up to Fairy and then have access to some counter magic, High Noon will be very, very strong for us. These are basically our 2 prison effects now. We see Haywire Might here, which can take out a High Noon, so we're going to have to be cognizant of that. Castle Vantress and Ardenvale will be both turned on by Meticulous Archive, and I think that I'm interested in... Well, I was going to say a land, but Oracle of the Alpha will be fine. Alright, so if we can just end up with a stabilized board, we will be looking pretty. And Haywire Might's going to take Leyline of Sanctity. I wonder if that's because they don't expect me to be playing a lot of enchantments, or if they think that that's going to be a problem for us. Okay, they're playing possibly discard. We'll see what's up. We got to be a little careful with the High Noons this game. I can hold up Dovin's Veto into the next Hand Hate spell that they play. We want to make sure that we maintain this Oracle of the Alpha. Here's a Castle Vantress. We hold either Dovin's Vetoing or Omen of the Seeing. Opponent has gotten rid of our High Noon. We can effectively get that back by playing 1 Oracle of the Alpha and getting to Time Twister eventually. Okay. Looks like they're going to pass on. We'll take a draw here, see if they want to play Bowmasters. Okay, makes sense. Yep, sure. Well, our Oracle of the Alpha will be fine. We have multiple cards here. I already have an untapped land. I think once... Well, okay, it's not going to matter once I shuffle. So, do I want 2 more lands in hand? I think I'm down. You got it. Alright, we'll move the turn. We're going to drop the Ardenvale, get the Oracle of the Alpha, and then hopefully this will be able to stick around for a little bit and get the Orcish Bowmaster to stay back. I'm interested in Teferi. Who will need to be tied down via attack. So Teferi plus Shocked Land doesn't mean much here. So I go Teferi Meticulous Archive. They'll have to do any instant speed effects right now, which will be Deadly Dispute to go get some cards. Will there be another? Well, did they find a Bowmasters? Okay, so I think we're going to surveil first and decide if we want to send back one of these things. I think we're just happy to draw this Teferi. I'm going to just plus. Bowmasters is going to not be able to attack for more than one next turn, so I'm happy to make a scry. Except we did know that the Teferi was there. Okay. Maybe not the brightest moment, but we do have a potential Teferi coming back next turn with Dovin's Vita / Omen of the Sea held up. Alright. Now what comes next? There's like some Vraska stuff that could have been bad for us. Okay, looks like they'll probably take the veto. Understandable. Necro. Okay, so they're going to be playing with their life total a bit. That's going to be annoying for us. I guess this is how they beat the Mirror Bowmasters matchup. Now I wonder what their green is for, if there's anything that they're doing other than this Haywire Might tech. They might just be, you know, very tuned for the mirror match. Alright, well, they get all those cards, but they can't play them at instant speed, so I'm going to look to get a Teferi out here. Maybe we can draw into an untapped land and be happy about it. Moving to end step, got to discard a few cards. They'll sculpt a pretty good hand here. Now, we've seen Duress, Deadly Dispute. These are all things that may end up being used for life and mana in a Storm deck. So I think I shock. I think we go plus on Teferi. I could minus, put back the Bowmasters. Not super crazy about that. Let's move to combat, swing in with the Oracle, the Alpha. Look for something good. A Time Walk is great. I think I would like to not actually do anything with that just yet. If we get hand-hated here, that's bad after I draw the Time Walk. I'm just considering if I want to play Teferi in plus. That does put... Oh, you know what? No. I'm dumb. I have plussed my little Teferi so I can cast that Time Walk at instant speed. Plus, so we'll wait until this Teferi trigger goes onto the stack.
We need to move quickly.
Okay. And they decide to go face with it instead of at my Planeswalkers. We will end turn, allow this to go onto the stack. We will resolve. I'm tapping 1, 2. And then we'll Time Walk. Okay, cool. So now we look for a board wipe. We're happy to draw a... Well, we would have been happy to draw something like a Snapcaster Mage. I think I could plus on this Teferi. I could also minus on Little Teferi. I think minus on Little Teferi feels good. We'll do a little bit of card draw here. Nice, here's another land. This can get Time Lock on top of the library. Just barely, actually. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll put our Time Lock back on top. We will take action. I will use my big Teferi to draw it.
Let's skip to the good part.
We will cast this now, just to be safe. I'll go in with Oracle the Alpha, look for something that can get it back. If we find it, we use Omen of the Sea to draw it. Mana drain's not great in this situation. I'll crack off this Omen of the Sea then, I think. Yeah, just looking to find what we can find here. Scry 2, draw a card. Can we find something that puts Time Lock back on top? Not really. We'll scry 2 away, draw a card. And Archmage's Charm is not terrible. I should hold full control here. do this, and then we're going to, I guess we will do this. Okay, so I'm debating, should I take this Orc Army? I think I do want to take the Orc Army. That is a little bit more damage for us. And we'll move to our next turn with this in hand. We have some upkeep scrying to do with Omen of the Sea. Oh, okay, that didn't happen, but we actually got incredibly lucky with the Snapcaster Mage draw. Draw here.
You know what?
I probably need to do some stuff at my end step again. We'll plus to Fairy. So now we go Snapcaster Mage. And I believe that's exactly lethal. We'll put Time Walk back on top. Move to combat, swing in. We can scry first. Finding Castle Ardenvale, don't want it. Whoop, not in our second main yet. Alright, here's Time Walk. And then if we shock, we can do an Omen of the Sea as well. Perfect. Alright, we were able to make it happen here, looping the Time Walk from our Oracle of the Alpha, and doing so while navigating an Orcish Bowmaster deck. Pretty sweet. Great round 2. I think that definitely is a shining example of what this deck can do. Here comes round 3. We'll try to do it again. Here we go. Alrighty, here's round 3. We have an Omen, we have a Snapcaster Mage, and we have a mana drain that can help power out some other stuff. We also have the mana to cast it, so I am in. Let's try it. Opponent gets to start here. A very classic blue-white control predicament that we're in. Dark Ritual for probably Necropotence is here, but it's actually not that. So Nashi, Moon Sage's Scion. Ninjutsu. Oh, and you can just pay life to get all this stuff out. How interesting. Well, let's see how good that is. We'll put a tapped Hallowed Fountain in here. And our Snapcaster Mage can trade with Nashi, so they're just going to get one of these in. Hopefully they don't hit big here. Just a land out of both of us, so that's perfect. They really did not hit there. So we go like this. We're going to hold up Snapcaster Mage and really just hope that they don't have single target removal here, because that is a big problem for us. Here's Snapcaster Mage. A la carte. I think they probably have Fatal Push, based on the way that that held priority. Okay, go for the throat, same deal. Unfortunately, that is going to kill our one way to stop this thing. So now, while they do have Mana Drain and Shieldred, oh no, they have a Shieldred now. Yeah, we have to basically just rush the Supreme Verdict. So, hey, I mean, we're going to take 4 damage here, then another 7. I'm not sure we really survive. We have to Omen of the Sea, looking for 2 lands. Okay, that's 1 land. We're going to take a little damage. Just a little bit of damage. Okay, so we are online. Surveil. We will look for more creature removal here. I think a 5th land gets us to a good point where we can Teferi plus Mana Drain, so I'm going to keep this. And we have to just eat another one of these turns where I believe we go to 7, then take 2 going to 1. Yeah, this is just brutal. I mean, we're dead to a Bowmasters now. Absolutely crazy turn that they've had here. Or a crazy game in general, I'd say. This Nashi is a very cool Dark Writ target. Yeah, so can't do anything now other than draw going to 1. You got it. Oh, we don't have the third, we don't have the 3rd land for Mystic Sanctuary. No. That's so sad. Well, I can Teferi, bounce the Shieldred, draw a card. Let's just not even bother. We're just going to submit 0 and die. GG's opponent. Absolutely very cool thing to put onto the battlefield. So this makes me wonder a few things. Obviously, the gain life via Shieldred plan is here. I'm curious if they had something other planned with Nashi. I think maybe this was... Or, like, I don't know if Nashi is the only target that they have here. It could be that they want to either get Nashi or Shieldred out, possibly also a Necropotence, not really sure. I mean, we didn't really see enough cards to really be able to tell, but very cool deck. I liked seeing that. I'll have to try out this Nashi for myself and see what's going on with it. Anyway, round 3 in the bag. Here comes round 4. Alright, so this is round 4. 2 more to go. I'm pretty much keeping any hand that I see with an Omen of the Sea. This one gets to back up Swords to Plowshares, Snap Swords, and has Teferi to boot. I think I'm really happy with this. Mystic Sanctuary is going to be a little bit underutilized here. We'll have to play it as a third sad land. Maybe we'll get lucky and use Omen of the Sea to find another 2 islands. We'll see. Alright, Surveil. I think Omen of the Sea is not a land, so we don't keep it. Though I am kind of happy to see that. Maybe I should have drawn it. Who knows? I think I am land hungry right now. I would also not mind any of the other offensive cards in this deck. We do need to find an Oracle of the Alpha at some point in this game. Here comes Thoughtseize to take one of our cards. Unfortunately, I think Omen of the Sea is going to go away, which makes our Bind Omen so much more sad. Okay, they take the creature removal, which means that we are playing against creatures, and seeing Thoughtseize cracked off right away. They did go Polluted Delta into Shockland into Thoughtseize, so this is probably going to be, what is the name of that deck? Death Shadow. Alright, so we'll have Omen of the Sea. We want to set up Snapcaster for swords. Snapcastering a swords back is very good because that can kill multiple cards. We will allow... Ooh, I don't know if I want to give them our Omen. We do need it to find more land. I'm going to do this prior to their cast. Omen of the Sea here. So we know that we probably need to worry about Bowmasters. We can't take a Teferi right now. We'll take a land. We have second island out of our Flooded Strand here, which is great. And it is about time to play a Death Shadow, but they will need to drop one more life. Move to my turn. Alright, back up Snapcaster Mage feels good. I think we'll get a Surveil land here. And I'm not really feeling like attacking them is a good idea. They're very clearly a deck that wants that to happen up until a certain point. Here comes Wooded Foothills. I think if they shock here and like don't necessarily like play anything, we can be very, very certain that it is a Death Shadow deck. We see DRC. Neither here nor there on DRC. Let's see if they go for Surveil or go for a board presence. Lightning Bolt to the face. Will that give them Delirium? It will. Alright, and we will go ahead and get our friend the Surveil land into play. We are happy now with board wipes as well. I think we don't want it to Teferi. I could also put the DRC back, actually. That is not terrible. Well, again, I'm saying this after having cast these spells. Let's deploy a Snapcaster Mage. Move to turn. Another Omen. Do I go Omen, hold up Snapcaster? Do I hold Dig Through Time? I think I go for the land. I want to use Mystic Sanctuary to get a Swords to Plowshares out. We're going to pass this one. Dig Through Time, also potentially nice. We will see. Alright, Inti. Yeah, Inti is pretty good. When they discard, they get to exile the card. They get card advantage, basically. And so this DRC is going to be able to do its thing, potentially, unless I Swords to Plowshares it now. We're going to wait until we move to combat. Okay, so they're just trying to activate this now. I think I'm very interested in just Swords to Plowsharing. So they need to take something out of my graveyard. Cling to Dust does it. Alright, cool. We've got blockers now. Alright, we're putting my opponent back to 13, which means they can't deploy another... Or they can't deploy their first... what do you call it? Death Shadow. Lightning Bolt, that's fine. They are incentivized to find their friend Death Shadow here. And nice, this gets through. We're going to pass, say go. Dig Through Time potentially going to want to come down here soon. Rogren Triumph will be our third island, and now all of a sudden Mystic Sanctuary is online. Dig Through Time needs to watch out for Orcish Bowmasters. If they ever tap out to the point where they can't cast it, I'm going to utilize it. Otherwise, we go Omen of the Sea. I could also scry. I think I probably want to draw, though. We are getting to a point where a High Noon would also kind of slap. Opponent has some extra math to do. Oh, they're going to reanimate my Snapcaster Mage. I can't do anything about that. They can actually chain reanimates here, which is pretty cool. They'll use that to get my Snapcaster Mage out of the way. Okay. I think that it's going to be a situation where I just need to dig through time. We have one more Swords to Plowshares in the deck. Yeah, alright. Inti does get big. And they find another Inti. Cool, so that's not too bad. If I exile my whole graveyard, I'm going to be able to play Dig Through Time. I think I'm interested in that. Let's cast it now, especially with this Death right on the battlefield. Oh, I only need 4. Wait, 8 plus 3 is 5. My gosh. And also it's 8 minus 3 is 5, not plus. Alright, we made it work. I get 2 things into my hand here. I can go High Noon. That can take out an Inti. I have Mystic Sanctuary at some point, not super great. I have Flooded Strand, also pretty decent. Mana Drain. Do I want a Mana Drain? Do I have enough mana to really work with a Mana Drain? Kind of. This is a good 2 mana thing, so I think I'm going to keep this. They get their Deathrite Shaman, I get to move to my turn. Supreme Verdict is here. We're going to loop Supreme Verdict. Boom, boom. Mystic Sanctuary, put Supreme Verdict back on top. Let's go, baby. This is what they call turning the corner. An opponent agrees. That's going to be a concession after the turn, or the 4 mana board wipe. Let's go. Good round 4. Round 5 coming up. Let's get it. Alright, this is the last round. Here we go. We're again blessed with Omen of the Sea. We finally have a Chamil, which could be nice. Fluted Delta. What are we going to go for here? Probably a shock land. Maybe take a card out of my hand. I kind of want to deploy an early High Noon, potentially. Oh, it's Mill. This is not a good matchup for us, then. Meticulous Archive will be able to get this Mystic Sanctuary online eventually. I think, oh, Leyline of Sanctity would be so good. It would be so good, but we don't get it. Oh, that's painful. I mean, we're going to leave it on top. They definitely mill it away here. That's so sad. Okay, so High Noon in the graveyard. We also have now Swords to Plowshares in the graveyard. I don't think that's going to be our best card. What we really want in this hand is just counter spells to counteract what they're going to be doing to us. But we don't have it. This might be a quick one. If this ends up being a replay of that earlier mill matchup that we faced, I will be happy to just go ahead and do a round 5 part 2. Castle Ardenvale. We want to actually have a untapped blue source. Could have Flooded Stranded for a basic. Would have saved me a life. They're probably not in a situation where they go for a second spell. Well, they could actually play Founding the Third Path, so I think High Noon's a good call. Teferi HOD would be nice at some point. Ruin Crab, now we want to wipe the board. Alright, we just needed that Oracle of the Alpha. Castle Ardenvale, not the move. Alright, we have one chance, so we need to get Oracle of the Alpha into our hand in some way, some form. We can put a tapped land in here. A Flooded Strand for a Surveil land, and then we'll use that in conjunction with Omen of the Sea to hopefully draw our target card. Scheming Symmetry. I wonder what we're putting on the top. I think I want to do these things before then. Oh, no. I'm going to let Scheming Symmetry resolve and then Omen of the Sea to draw. Okay. So we're going to get our Oracle of the Alpha then. That's perfect. Oh, I actually could take a Leyline of Sanctity. I think Oracle's better, though. This gives us access to recast our thingamajig. Alright, let's see if they play some... See if they play a land. Looks like we're getting Omen of the Sea. We can attempt an Omen of the Sea. I mean, I kind of just have to try it, right? Alright, cool. It looks like this is allowed to resolve. Scry 2 draw card, we don't need a Chamil. We already have one of those. Alright, cool. There's our Oracle. Oh yeah, baby. We need to get a Surveil land. Take a look at our top. We are now set for Mystic Sanctuary, so we can Oracle the Alpha, Mystic Sanctuary, draw the Time Twister. Archmage's Charm, I think we'll leave that just to get... it would not be milled here. What do I think about Archmage's Charm? Can grab me a Ruin Crab. Can counter a spell. I think it's not good as some of the other counter spells. We're going to take a blind draw here. Leyline of Sanctity. Let's go, baby. Each opponent, but there are a lot of target spell cards. Or target player, rather. Do I go Leyline or Oracle? I'm going to attempt Oracle first. Alright, cool. Power 9's into the library. Tasha, each opponent. Please tell me you didn't hit the card that we needed to hit. Alright, I don't think they hit it. Perfect. We're going to hold Mystic Sanctuary. I can go Castle Ardenvale, or I can go Teferi rather, or Leyline. I think I want Teferi for now. We just have to avoid the Tasha's Hideous Laughter. We lost Time Walk into Moxen. Alright, we're going to try Teferi. Draw a card, hopefully hitting a counter spell. Dovin's Veto hits hard here. That is not terrible. Black Lotus. Would have loved to have that in my hand, but that's going to get milled. Want to keep cards in deck up high enough. So we're going to take what hopefully is not a terrible Tasha's here. Oh, I saw Time Twister go. We're done. That was it. Oh wait, no. That was Ancestral. Oh my god, okay. We can do this. We can do this. 8 cards left in library. If I Omen of the Sea, Scry 2, plus Teferi, I can use my Mox Sapphire. No, I'd have to use Mystic Sanctuary, but that's fine. Okay, yeah, we go like this. So, activate. I pray to God I find it. Time Twister is on top. Let's go, baby. Plus Teferi.
You know what?
Mystic Sanctuary as an untapped land. Putting back, it doesn't matter, we'll put back an Absorb. And then we go Time Twister. Let's go. We have 30 cards in the library again. Alright. Get to Scry, Supreme Verdict. I mean, we're just going to leave everything on top here. Then I think we go Chamil here. Ruin Crab again. We probably wipe the board at some point. Mystic Sanctuary. How many of these are in graveyard? One in exile. One on the battlefield. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we have one more. We mill again. Okay. I can dig through time. Let's do that. We have to exile 6 cards. One, get rid of the lands first. Supreme Verdict I want to keep. Teferi can go away. Absorb can go away. Would I rather have Little Teferi or an Absorb or an Omen of the Sea? I think I'd rather have an Omen of the Sea than a Little Teferi. No, I think I'd rather have the Little Teferi. Alright. Alright. The cards that we want in our hand. Leyline could be good. We could mini Teferi back our High Noon. That I think is better because we don't have the mana in order to cast it. Then for that reason Mox Sapphire becomes really good. Alright, so I'm on my turn. We will plus first. It's a bummer that we don't have our time walk. That would be really good for us here. We're going to go to Fairy. I want to keep up 1 mana at the end of my turn. Put back High Noon. Draw a card. We get 2 Moxen out. That helps us so much with the mana. Flooded Strand here, good. So with the 1 mana that I hold up, I have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right now. Not quite enough for Chamil, which would be good. Archmage's Charm, great. Let's take a attack first. High Noon is going to start to be pretty good for us. We have a Rogrin Triome that will land next turn, and then we can start doing 1 High Noon a turn. That means it's a 2-ish turn clock. I'm going to keep the 3rd High Noon. And I won't crack Flooded Strand yet. On their end step, if they tap out, I grab... Okay, actually, if they tap out, I can go Archmage's Charm... Or I can Flooded Strand for Mystic Sanctuary, cast Archmage's Charm, or I can hold up this Absorb. Okay, cool. I think we just hold here. With Mox Ruby, how close are we to just High Nooning next turn, though? Yeah, I think I want this now. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. It'll be so close to being able to just activate this High Noon right away. Alright, we do that. We end turn. Untap 2 lands, we'll get back 2 lands that can do stuff, and we hold for their end step. Alright, so we lock them down with an Absorb here. Not really worried about getting milled out though right now. Well, I kinda am. This almost kills me. We also have to get not Mystic Sanctuary though. Oh, this is not good. Yeah, okay, so there's no more Mystic Sanctuaries. I have a Snapcaster Mage at some point. We have to absorb this. So how close am I going to be to drawing the Snapcaster Mage? It's going to be Omen of the Sea for draw for turn. Teferi draw gets me Leyline. I might need to absorb and then Archmage's Charm. We're very close to getting Teferi Ultimate as well, which would be good. I might be able to do this. So for sure this is Absorb. Gain some life back. Do I have a land to search out? I do, so I could take this Flooded Strand. That means that my Snapcaster Mage has a 50% chance to be closer to the top than it is now, so I think we do that. No, Flooded Strand is not searchable. LOL. Okay, fine. So we're going to high noon this turn and then try to get into a position where we don't die on the following turn, which is probably going to mean that we need to Snapcaster back Time Twister, which is 5 mana. Oh, we also do need to activate High Noon, which takes quite a bit of work to do. I mean, if they have a land here, I'm kind of dead. If I were to shuffle my library in, I do get one more turn. So I'm going to have to just see how this works out for me. I moved my turn. We need 2 High Noon activations. This is an obvious plus. This is definitely a draw because we're... Oh, we drew the Snapcaster Mage. What am I doing? Okay. Don't care about life. Now how close am I? We go High Noon this turn, hit for 2. That they're at 3. Problem is I would just need to untap my Mox Ruby, which I can with my Teferi as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Drop Rogger and try him as land. Oh wait, no, I already dropped my land. So I think with the Teferi I do have it. Or is it I'm at 11 and I need to spend 2 to play this High Noon? It's really close. I can Time Twister, try to go for another turn. That is 2 mana plus 3 mana, leaving me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the Fairy. That means I would end up losing my High Noon. But then I have another creature that can attack. I have another turn where Oracle can do something. Okay. I would need to then deploy my other High Noon. Oh, this is just brutal. I think I'm going to go for Snapcaster High Noon. Oh, we need to sack High Noon. Oh, God. Okay, we're going to hold priority here. High Noon. Target them. They go to 5. Don't need to play another High Noon. We can attack, scry, Flooded Strand is on top. And then we have to wait until we move to end step. We resolve this, untapping 1, 2. Cast Time Twister at instant speed. And we're just going to have to get lucky and survive here. Alright, 18 cards. Can we win like this? We have High Noon again. Oops, I'm still holding full control. And we go down to the wire here. We have another Oracle the Alpha now, which is cool. If they pass turn, we just High Noon and we win. Okay, we're half dead. And can they mill us for the remaining 10? Oh, yes, they can. I think now we unfortunately can't do anything about it. Darn. Amazing game here. We came so very close, but the opponent has us exactly milled out here. If I had the text on, I would definitely say good game, but that was a wild matchup here. They're going to do some J stuff. It is what it is. That is okay. We, I believe, do not have any recourse here. We cannot avoid not drawing a card. Tremillion Hand doesn't do it. Yeah, if we were just a little bit more set up with this High Noon, if I had played that slightly earlier, we would have been in a winning situation here. So very close. It could have also been helped by me getting my Triumph onto the battlefield as well. But either way, very, very close game. Some things that could have been done more optimally there, but hey, that's how it goes. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was a absolute beauty to play. Really love blue-white control. Really love how High Noon feels in this format. Very, very cool card. I'll be iterating on this as I really love what we played today. And if you want to join me in the fun, make sure to check out the deck list in the video description. I always have a tapped out link there. with that being said, that kind of brings us to the end of the video. Again, make sure that please like and comment, helps me out with the algorithm. Subscribe if you're new for videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you in the next video.